Today, we will start looking at fairy tales. Our learning target will be that writers will become familiar with elements of a fairy tale, and we are going to listen to one of the most well known fairy tales, which a lot of us have heard: Little Red Riding Hood, Three Billy Goat Gruff, and Cinderella. So, we're going to be using mentor text. And remember, that is an example of a text that can be looked at for help. So while we're watching this fairy tale, which is a story about magical and imaginary beings and lands, we're going to be looking at fairy tales to determine what elements we see in our mentor text. Remember that fairy tales begin with once upon a time or long ago. They have characters like kings and queens, take place in faraway places, often contain magic, have characters with unusual names. Sometimes characters are turned into animals. Sometimes the animals can actually talk. Have a good and a bad character. Use numbers like 3 and 7 and usually end with, and they lived happily ever after. Okay, let me reshare my screen so that I have the sound while we do our mentor text. While we're listening, let's think about these questions. Who are the characters? What is the setting of the story? What magical elements do you see? And what problems are in the story?
Hi writers, my name is Jamie Stegall and I'm a third grade teacher at Fred O. Wilson Elementary School. Today we're going to start a new unit called Once Upon a Time. So I'm thinking you probably know what this unit's going to be about. You guessed it, fairy tales. So today, the first thing we want to do is review some of the things that we learned about fairy tales last year in second grade. So, fairy tales have different elements. Can you remember some of the elements from last year? Let's take a moment and think. What do you remember? Okay, so some of the things that I remember are they have magical characters. They also sometimes have royal characters. Things come in threes. And sometimes they're mythical creatures. Creatures that you wouldn't find in real life, like unicorns or fairy godmothers. So today, we're going to read a little part of The Three Billy Goats Gruff. In this book, we're going to look for some different elements to see what makes this a fairy tale. So 1, 2, 3. 3 billy goats named Gruff. Little Billy Goat Gruff, Big Billy Goat Gruff, Very Big Billy Goat Gruff. They eat here, but they want to eat there. Why do you think they want to eat there? You guessed it, the grass looks really green and luscious, and I definitely, if I were a goat, I'd want to go over there and eat. Let's go over there and eat, says Very Big Billy Goat Gruff. I will go over, says little Billy Goat Gruff. Tip tap, tip tap, tip tap. Who is that over me, says the troll. I will eat you. So if you want to know what happens with the troll and the billy goat, then you can go online on Epic or Raz Kids. You can even look on YouTube for books and see if you can finish this book on your own. You also may have it around the house. Thank you guys for watching this video. We miss you. We love you. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you soon.
So what were some examples in the Three Billy Goats Gruff that made it a fairy tale? Well, there was groups of three. There's the little Billy Goat Gruff, the big Billy Goat Gruff, and the very big Billy Goat Gruff. And there's a mythical character, which is a troll. The setting of the story was a field by a bridge. Your job today is to find a fairy tale. Please go in Epic. And I want you to identify elements while reading the different fairy tales. What makes it a fairy tale? There'll be the anchor chart in the virtual classroom that you can use. And please type your response in Shobi based on the question that I ask. Just you're picking a book in Epic that's a fairy tale and identifying the fairy tale elements.